Hi everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and I would like to show you how I made this card. I've made this into a thinking of you with all my heart card, but you could make it as a thank you card or a get well card or any kind of card, birthday even. So I have used some papers that have retired only because I want to use up my stash, but that doesn't mean that it can't be used with new products. It's just that I thought it would be really nice to use up this beautiful paper that I had left over. So the stamp set and the mint macaron here, and obviously Whisper White are all staying, but the ESP, well, that's gone, unfortunately. So I would like to show you what products I used to make this card. So let's pop that out of the way and I'll pop this here to show you. And now I used the Peaceful Moments, which is from the mini catalogue and is carrying over into the annual catalogue, which is really fantastic for 2020-2021. And I'm going to be using the Thinking of You with All My Heart from this set. I'm also using the Climbing Rose, which has retired again, and that's only because I wanted to put Sending Love, and I'm going to put this little flower in the inside as well. This is new product. This is from the Ornate, it's called Ornate Floral 3D Embossed folder, and it has a beautiful embossed look on there. I don't know if you can see that very well. Yes, you can see that. It's absolutely gorgeous, and this is for pre-order, so you can order this now if you want, or it will be available after June the 3rd in the new catalogue. These are carrying over, so you have no problems here. I'm using the stitched layering circles, and I'm using ovals, sorry. This is the stitched layering framelits, shaped framelits, and I'm using the second size in the ovals there, and then I'm using this is the stitch layer, the layering ovals, and I'm using the third size in the scalloped oval here. So, and these are still in the new catalogue. Okay, so what we need for this card, let's move these things out of the way and then we can get on to what we need. So we're going to need a piece of main card, and I'm using white, which measures 5 7/8 by 8 1/4 inches. You will need 2 layers in, and I'm using mint macaron, and this measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. You will also need 2 layers to go on top of that in white that measure 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. You will need a piece for the square layer that measures 3 3/8 by 3 3/8 square, and as you can see, that's that beautiful embossing on that from that folder. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? This colour here is Grapefruit Grove, and that finishes, because that was an in colour, so that finishes at the end of May or the 2nd of June, and we have 5 new colours, and they are absolutely beautiful. Now we want for the next layer, we want 4 of these, 4 squares that measure 1 1/2 inch square, and then we want 4 pieces of designer paper that measure 1 3/8 square. Okay, then we need which I've already cut out, so they're there. 2 of the ovals with stitched ovals and 2 of the scalloped ovals. So we need 2 pieces of white that measure 2 inches by 3 inches, and 2 pieces of coloured mint macaron in this case that measure 2 inches by 3 inches. Now, as I've cut them already out, I have only brought 1 of each in here for you to have a look at. For the pouch, we need a piece of card that measures 5 inches square, and the belly band measures 1/4 inch wide by 7 inches long. So that's everything we need to make the card. I'm using some ribbon. I put green ribbon on this one, but I've run out, so I'm going to be putting white ribbon on the next one, which is some white with silver through it here. So, and you need about 12 inches worth. I'm going to be using my envelope punch board. Now, Stampin' Up don't have an envelope punch board, so I have a memory keeper's board here. So if you've got a board, it doesn't matter whether you've got one of these ones or one that's just for envelopes, it will do the same thing. So let's get cracking, shall we? Let's see. Let's move all these pieces over, and we're going to start by bringing in our scoreboard, and we're going to score our main card at the 4 1/8 mark, which is the first mark after the 4-inch mark. So, and we're then going to just fold and burnish our card. So let's fold and burnish our card, which I'm having trouble seeing today. I might have to put my glasses on, I think. Okay, so that's all folded and burnished. Excuse me while I put my glasses on. Now we're going to use our other front piece, and we're going to just I'm really having a hard day today, I'm sorry. We're going to lay these together, and then we're going to put them onto the front of the card. So let's put a bit of glue on this, if I can get the pin out the top. Oh gosh, not another one. The things come off the top. Let me see if I can get my pin out with my scissors again. No, I'm not going to get it out. So that's going to be a real problem. I'm going to have to put this on with some snail, and I'm not very happy about that. So let's pop that onto the front there. Let's give this one more wiggle, see if I can get it out. Oh, there we go. That's better. Pin number 2 down the drain. Okay, so then we're going to pop some glue onto the back of this, if it's going to come out. Which is not. That's a bit weird. Ouch! That stuck in my finger. That wasn't very clever either, was it? Okay, so let's see. Glue, come out. There we go. Looks a bit yucky there, doesn't it? Good job it's not showing. And my finger is bleeding. So we don't want blood all over everything. And we're going to pop that onto the front of the card. So that's done and out of the way, and just making sure I don't get blood on anything. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our 3 3/8 square, and we're going to take our 4 1.5 inch squares and our 4 1 3/8 squares, and we're going to pop these squares on, layer them onto the top of this. So I can now use my glue because it's working again. I'll pop the glue on all of them. That'll give my finger time to stop bleeding too. And then we'll pop these on, layer these onto the squares, making sure they're nice and even. Oh, that's really hurting where that pin went in. That's not very clever, was it? At all. Okay, so that's our squares on there. So what we're going to do is just put these on here so we can see that they line up nicely, as you can see. And we are going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of each of these to glue onto our Grapefruit Grove piece. If you have a pattern, just make sure that your pattern is all up the same way. If it's an abstract, it doesn't really matter. We're going to pop that on there. That one looks like it should go that way up, I think. Yep. Let's move that glue out of the way so I don't knock it over all over everything. Stop bleeding, that's good. Okay, that's our squares on there nice and neatly. I'm just pushing them down, making sure they're going to stick nicely. And we're going to pop this up onto foam pads now. I have run out of the dimensions again, and I'm waiting for my order to arrive with my new catalogue and everything else. So I will use up these ones here. I need them more. I don't like things that don't sit up nicely, you know, they sag in the middle, so I'll use plenty. So, and we'll take the backs off of those, and making sure you've got your picture up the correct way. If it's not an abstract, we're going to then layer that onto the top of the card there. So it looks like that. Now we're going to, and we might as well stamp them both at the same time, we're going to stamp on here, Thinking of You with All My Heart. And I'm going to do that in mint macaron. So, and I'm going to stamp that there. And I might as well stamp the other one for the pouch after, so it's done at the same time. That one can sit over there and dry. So that's all our stamping with the mint macaron. Oops, let's pop that out of the way. And we're going to then glue that onto our oval. Making sure we get a nice edge right around the edge of the there with the layering oval underneath. And we're going to pop this up onto some dimensions as well. Okie dokie. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this onto my right hand side a bit more. Actually, I might put it on the left hand side. Put it on the left hand side a bit. And I'm going to get some of my ribbon. So let's get my ribbon, and I'm going to tie myself a nice little bow. It does help if I get a bit more bits on the end. Oh, come on. Doesn't want to tie. There we go. We have a nice little bow there. Let's cut this off on a nice angle. And the same on the other side. And then we can pop him on here with some glue dots. So let's pop some glue dots on the back of this. And pop two on here. So he sticks down nicely. And we will pop our ribbon on here. I might just move that so on the angle a bit more around. Let's move that on more of an angle. There we go, that's better. And then I'm going to use these Faceted Gems because they are actually retiring as well. So I'm going to use this small one here to pop at the bottom and one either side of it. Unfortunately these are retiring, but there's some really nice new ones in the catalogue coming out. So that's the front of the card. For the insert, we're going to stamp on our insert, and we're going to stamp in Memento. So I'm going to get my Memento out, and I'm going to use my stamp that says Sending Love, and I better get him up the right way. So Sending Love. And I'm just going to pop this little flower in the top, right hand corner and left hand corner at the bottom. So that's all our stamping there done. If you wish to colour these in, that's entirely up to you. I'm going to leave mine plain. I'm not going to colour them. So I'm going to glue this onto my other green piece. And then once that's nicely on there, we will glue that to the inside of the card. And that's our card done. That's our card. How gorgeous does our card look? So we will now pop that out of the way, and I will show you how to make the envelope. So with the envelope, what we need is the envelope punch board and our piece of designer series paper that measures 5 inches square. There we go, sorry. Okay, and we're going to pop this into the board, and we're going to pop this in, I need my scorer, at the 2 3/8 mark, which is the mark just under the half, and we're going to punch and score. Then we're going to turn it anti-clockwise and line this score line up with the edge on this board on this side here. Now you will notice that's not at a 2 3/8 mark. It is at 2 and just over 5/8, so but not 3/4. So we're going to punch and score again and turn it anti-clockwise, line up that score line, punch and score again, line up the score mark, punch and score again. Let's put the board back in there. Let's pop these out of the way. We're going to then pop this in the back here and round the corners. Only because it looks so much nicer when the corners are rounded. That's optional. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Okay, so now we're going to fold and burnish all these score lines. And you will notice that on one side it's longer than on the sides, these sides. So on this long side, we're going to pop some tear. Oh, I haven't got any tear tape here, so I'm going to have to use snail. Again, I'm waiting for it to arrive. So we're going to put some snail on there, and we're going to fold in our two ends, making sure not to get right up here with the glue, because otherwise it will stick to itself. And we're going to pop this down. Now we don't want to pop it down real tight, you know, like skin tight, because we're going to pop a tea bag in there. So I have a tea bag here. It's a Twinings Vitality, and that fits into there absolutely beautifully, as you can see. There we go, see? So that's, I'll pop that in there. So let's get on with the belly band. Now the belly band, we need our scoreboard in again, and we're going to score our belly band at the 1.5 inch mark and the 4.5 inch mark. And that's all the scoring we're doing on the bow there. And we're going to turn these score marks under and burnish them off. Okay, so while we're doing that, we will actually glue these two pieces together, because that's the last of the gluing. So we will glue our two ovals together with our Thinking of You with All My Heart. So that has a little time to dry while we are getting on with putting the band on. So, oops. So when we put the band on here, what we're going to do is we're going to put the small end at the bottom, which is the unopened end. And we're going to pop that around our thing. And you will notice that it's fairly loose, because we don't want it tight. We don't want it tight at all. So we're going to then put some glue, or I'll put a bit of glue on the top here. Only about 1/2 inch down, because we don't want glue everywhere else. And we're going to glue this belly band together, making sure that it lines up nicely either side here. So as you can see, it's loose, which is what we want. We don't want it tight at all. We're not here to make it sit on there like skin tight, because otherwise it won't come off, and then the person that's receiving this will actually be a bit upset because they can't get it off. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our ribbon again, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a couple of glue dots on the back here, on this side here, not the side with the join, but the other side. And we're going to put a couple of blue dots on here, one about there, oops, off my finger, and one about there. And that's just so that our ribbon can then glue onto that and stay there. It's not going anywhere. And we're going to bring our ribbon around, and we're going to tie it closer to the top into a bow. Now we can put another glue dot down here if we want, which I might do. So around where the join is, so that way it will stay there. And we're going to put our ribbon through here, making a nice little bow. And chopping off nicely. So he sits on the top there. And then we're going to get one of our large foam pads, and we're going to pop this across here, and it will fit beautifully over the top of the ribbon. And then we're going to peel that off and pop our little Thinking of You over the top, so that it sits on there beautifully. And we're going to pop some more of these Faceted Gems onto here, which I must say I'm sad to see go, because these are actually gorgeous. And if you want them before they go, I would suggest getting in quickly, because these are so good. If you have the blender pens, you can actually make them any colour you want. So the silver or clear ones are the best ones to get, in my opinion. Anyway, that's our card. What have I done with the rest of the card? Here we go, there it is. So that's our card for today, with the little pouch that holds a beautiful tea bag. There's the other one I did, which is the same colour, different gems, different ribbon. I think I like the white ribbon and a bow over the knot, but that's just me. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. If so, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a lovely comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any requests, please let me know. If you live in Australia and I can help you with a purchase, I know these are retired products, but there are plenty of beautiful designer series papers coming up in the new catalogue, or that are retiring at by the 3rd of June. So if I can help you with anything, please let me know. If not, I will see you again next week. Bye for now.